that as our representative, and this attorney is our representative, we pay the bills, everybody in this room pays the bills, and attorney-client privilege can exceed beyond one individual or half a dozen, okay? This is not agreeable. I imagine if we held a vote from the floor, that this would not be so. And I think that that's only fair. We should be able to be heard from the floor with regards to this attorney confidentiality. We need to know what it is that we're stepping into. Granted, in the past, things have not been always worked out the way we would have liked, and that's in the past. But going through the future, we need to know what is being said and what is being done. Now, I suggest that we have a vote from the floor for the individuals here present who are the dues-paying members of this organization as to whether or not we should be included in being the client. Right now, I've been with attorneys for 2 weeks, and client privilege can exceed to several people as long as they know that they're under client privilege and are not allowed to discuss it with anyone outside of that group. It can be known.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Bylaws. Does anyone have a copy of our bylaws here tonight? Okay. Would you kindly read the paragraph that says how the restrictions can be changed?
That's about 51% of the homeowners.
Says any changes to the deed restrictions require 51% approval. Does it have any other elaboration about any election committee or any other parameters besides 51% is necessary to amend or change these restrictions?
No, it does not.
Line 4 of Article 5, under voting, no inspector of elections shall be a
We're not talking
candidate.
about voting, we're talking about
Let me
amending the
finish.
restrictions.
You asked about the bylaws, I'm reading
I
the
asked
bylaws.
about what it said to change the restrictions, not voting.
Well, Matt,
Okay,
Sure.
would you kindly, I'll read it myself.
thank you.
Okay.
Can we give uninterrupted, he gets a
I
minute
believe
just like everybody else.
I believe I have the floor.
Okay, ma'am, Bob, hold on 1 second. Can we give him an uninterrupted amount of time? Thank you.
Right page, of course.
All right. Well,
Says that the water
all right.
water restrictions as well. But the summation, it's very simple. It's like one sentence. Any changes to the bylaw, to the deed restrictions require 51% approval, period.
Yep.
It's one sentence, okay? Did we not have, I've got part of the committee here that counted the ballots, okay? Did we have 51% approval of the neighborhood? Okay?
Oh, your minute's up. Your minute's up, Bob.
Okay,
Thank you.
fine.
Hold,
How rude.
yeah.
Okay, two things I would like to address.
Can we give Juan an uninterrupted minute of time? We're getting close to,
Attorney-client privilege and the stuff that we're not supposed to talk about to the association when there's a litigation pending is when you have one homeowner litigating with the board. But when the affected parties is the entire association, how can we, exclude all the affected parties? If it was a violation that that homeowner had and we were forced to hire an attorney to address his issue, I understand that's confidential. So he's the only affected party here, but when the affected party is 100% of the association.
okay. If there are no new ideas, I think this has been discussed.
Okay. My next
Juan,
one.
it's been discussed. I haven't let it close, but we're only getting a minute at a time. Okay,
Can I finish? My other stuff would be about the 51%. What got amended was not the bylaws. What got amended was deed restrictions. And on the old deed restrictions, on the original deed restrictions itself, it tells you how to amend them.
Okay, so, thank you.
So it was not the bylaws, it was the deed restrictions.
Thank you.
Okay, mine is only the actual section 209.
Okay.
005, section D. It says, except as provided by this subsection, an attorney's files records relating to the Property Owners Association, excluding invoices requested by an owner under subsection 209008, are not records of the association, are not subject to inspection by the owners or production in legal proceedings. If a document is an attorney's file and record relating to the association, will be responsive to a legal authorized request to inspect or copy of association documents. The document shall be produced by using the copy from the attorney's file and records if the association has not maintained a separate copy. So basically, you don't have to.
Thank you. Kathy?
So are you saying that 30
No.
homeowners?
Can I take a second,
Well,
please? You've had more time to speak than any board member here, and I appreciate it. I understand it.
But that's my right.
No.
As a property owner, it's my right to stand here. I'm
I
following the rules.
understand, and you have been given leeway in this meeting especially with well over the allotted time, and now we're running short on time, and we have business to attend to.
My comment has to do with the fact that there are 30 homeowners in this association that know the proceedings of the attorney. Is that a correct statement?
I wouldn't say that's
Okay,
correct.
that's fine.
Thank you. Is there any motion to be made given the investigation and findings of, that I've read them? You don't have a copy?
It wasn't in my packet, and what you sent
Are
me
you sure?
is not what you're reading, so.
I'm sorry.
I have another comment, that I don't believe that one person's personal findings should be binding upon the entire community.
I agree. I appreciate it.
With that said, I have a motion that I'm gonna make. And I make a motion that we revoke the deed restrictions based on the investigation that we've been discussing here. At this time, I'd like to make that motion.
Is there a second to that motion?
I don't believe it has the right to do that.
There's a second to that motion. We're going to take a vote.
Point of order.
All.
Point of order. That is not a valid motion. The deed restrictions firmly say the only way they can be changed is 51%. You are not 51%. They have already been approved. There's no discussion here, folks.
No, there is discussion here, Bob. because
Well,
here-
you go right ahead.
All right, so let me make it clear. Let me make it clear. So, on every ballot that was taken.
That
should
was not a
have been
ballot.
counted.
That's not a ballot. It was not a ballot.
So is it, so